Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Get Your Game On, and this one's pretty special. We have with us Igor Demenchuk, who is the CEO of DOF Reality, and I couldn't be more happy to have you join us, Igor. It's a real pleasure.
My pleasure is mine. Hey guys, really glad to be with you, Mark, and I'm really glad to address to our customers, future customers, and to the wide sim racing, flight racing, simulation community. I would say it's more than just racing or flight nowadays.
Absolutely, and Igor reached out to me, and he's actually got some pretty significant announcements about where DOF Reality is going. And for those of you new to my channel, you know I'm a DOF Reality fan. I started off with an H6, and there's plenty of videos on this channel that shows you our trip and our journey. And let me just say, Igor, thank you for making such an awesome product. I mean, I absolutely love my H6, and it is truly one of the best purchases I've ever made in my life. So thank you for all your work getting your company up and running and giving, guys like me an opportunity to actually experience the immersive effects of a motion platform at an affordable level compared to where, they typically have been in the past. So from me to you, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's our goal. So we are here to help community, help enthusiasts around the world enjoy the motion simulator, get introduced to motion simulator, because it was not affordable, it was not even dreamable like a few years ago.
So let's get into that. So for anyone out there who hasn't heard of DOF Reality, it's your parents are Ukrainian, and it's a Ukrainian company. Igor is actually located in Canada, and you've lived there for a little while, right, Igor?
Yeah, it's about 15 years, though, give or take, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about kind of your inspiration and what set you on this path, and give us an idea of how DOF Reality started, because I don't know this story, and I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, like everything, guys, starts with a passion, with a hobby. So I have kids. I had some bit of spare time. I was interested in racing, sim racing, because real life racing is so expensive, and most of you know how hard and unsecure it can be. Also, security and safety is a great aspect of simulation, and advantage of simulation anyway. And graphics was so awesome. Progress was there, so I bought a graphic card. I bought 3 monitors. I tried to put my rig, so I get as probably all of you started with wooden 2x4s. I put 3 monitors around me, 2x4s. I get I think Logitech or Trustmaster wheel. I did custom buttons, so I get real 320 mil wheels.
So what year is this roughly? Give me an idea of what year this
16, I think it's 16.
2016? Okay.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, around 16. So I get this thing going. I get my. I wouldn't call it rig back then, but that's a rig. Whatever you can bolt your wheel on, you have your seat. That's a rig nowadays. So I don't have shifters, so I have pedals wheel. I have 3 monitors. I start playing with it. I think Dirt Rally 1.0 was just released, and I'm a big fan of Rally. Back then, childhood, whatever, I was following Formula One before Sienna died. It was, for me, it was a huge drama, huge event, my childhood. So I quit actually following Formula One since then. And then, I built my rig. I was playing rally games, jumping all over the place. And as probably most of you, looking for what's the next step? What's the next step?
Yeah.
I'm the tech guy. So I did my Arduino-based wheel with buttons. So I get my wheel buttons, everything, I'm pretty handy. I'm kind of engineer with engineer backgrounds, have an engineering hobby. So bring me more engineering into my hobby, yeah?
I can't buy it, I'm going to make it, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah. And I was looking for options. I think there was Probably there was some DD, yeah, there was some DD direct drive wheels back then, but it was like boutiques. Fanatec definitely was not into it yet.
Right.
So I was looking into wheels, pedals, but it's kind of not much add-ons, not much sensations. But VR, I think VR was just starting.
Yeah,
I was
that'd be about right.
thinking about VR, but I was not convinced. Resolution was not that great.
No.
First Oculus was like, it's better than nothing for sure, but it's not that convincing. Better, it's definitely not better than 3 monitors back then.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, I remember that with simulators. That was, I'm a flight guy. I love DCS, and I remember you basically had to stick your face on the gauges to even have a chance at reading. I had the DK2. Yeah. You're like, and it was just, I remember that, and then you could barely read it even if you did that. So I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Yeah. So looking left and right, and then I saw, probably there was a YouTube video. I bet it was YouTube video or something. I saw motion. Wow, that's something interesting. So I can have both engineering fun and excitement fun and hobby fun in one basket. So I was looking into it, left and right. Like I think I saw some experience of other guys around on the market, but these coffins are like so much.
Yeah.
They're expensive. They're huge. I live in North America. Look, we can afford much more rooms for compared to Europe, but I cannot afford it in like whatever, like basement or whatever room. It's huge, and then the price tag. And I saw the product was quite well on the market, so it was not kind of up to date. And I was looking for like do-it-yourself options. And on Extreme websites, and I saw the guy putting some plans, putting some like offers to build a simulator. And I saw the guy, I saw the name, and it looks for me like really familiar.
Okay.
So I contacted the guy, and there was a team, a team in Ukraine. They were building first simulators on order, based on like standard Arduino sketches, like standard plans from Exim. Exim is an amazing community. They helped.
Yeah.
They helped us. They helped us to grow. They helped us to be where we are, and it's still amazing community for do-it-yourself and for people who wants to get introduced to the rigs. Yeah. So I found the team there. I contact them. They're like. By coincidence, they appeared to be in Ukraine.
So that wasn't planned. This was when you started, and it just coincidentally.
I want to buy one. Like I want to talk to them. Like I want to bargain. Like hell, I said, look, give me the best price.
Right.
But guys, they were tough. Like I don't know. Like they were really tough. They said, no, sorry, like no discounts. Like we build an order.
Right.
Then we start chatting, here and there, and we were looking into opportunities. And I said, look, I have experience in sales. I have experience I live in North America. We can try to bring a product out into the world, basically, and that's how we start discussion, negotiation. Okay. And that's bring up the partnership, and then the company starts from the garage, and now like I believe we sold most motion simulators than all competitors combined.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of bold statement. All my data proves it, but we sold a lot. But that's not the point. The point was to help the community, to help people like me back then. Make it affordable, make it adjustable, make it available, make it silent, make it with a small footprint. So people dreaming about it will have it today.
Yeah, and just to kind of share my story. I mean, real briefly for those of you that don't know it, I was looking at motion, and like Igor said, back in the old days, you're looking at $50,000. There's no way. And in my wildest dreams, I never thought I'd actually get a motion simulator in my house. I mean, that was something I never thought. But I was looking at just getting a seat mover, which, just basically the seat kind of moves you around and all that. And then I found DOF Reality, and you had a full motion cockpit for half the price of pretty much anybody else out there. And my jaw dropped when I saw that. And that from that point forward, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was hooked. And again, I am a DOF Reality fanboy, not because Igor's paid me big money or anything, just because I love that you can get such awesome immersion out of a unit that doesn't cost you basically a house mortgage or anything like that. I mean, it's just amazing. So again, thank you for that. So the company, the first Ukrainian guys that you talked to, those are the guys that DOF Reality was born, basically, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So we start building it. We get more orders. We grow organically. We never went like startup venture investment phases. So we build the brand, we decide on the brand, we build this website, we start taking orders, we build an order first, and that's how we grow up. Yeah.
So just so kind of have an idea, how much did you grow? I mean, were they selling many at all before you kind of got involved? I mean, any idea what kind of volume or how much you?
It was it was one a month. Because everybody had like full-time job. Like
sure.
I have full-time job. Everybody had full-time job. So it was a hobby. It was a side gig for everybody. So I believe it was about one sim a month or so, but not more than that. Yeah.
Wow. And now, like you said, you've grown to where you're actually selling more simulators than the rest of the industry combined, and I believe it. I mean, like I said, being on the forums and even on the channel, we're constantly getting people asking about it, and I think we're on the verge of even growing more because I get more and more people just intrigued and interested in it. So yeah, that's a great story. And then I hear there's a interesting story about how you got involved with the sim racing studio guys over there. Do you want to share that?
So yeah, look, everything was like small, like one man, not one man, but like few man army, you know. So the company was really small. So I was trying left and right, like looking into marketing, sales, everything. And I'm not like antisocial, but I didn't have Facebook account. Before DOF Reality, I don't have Facebook account. I didn't have Instagram account.
Sure, I understand.
So, yeah, and we have a deal. There was really nice guys from also Eastern Europe. They were buying like a few sims to have a truck, put them on the truck, and go around venues, racing events, and have it for rent, have it like pay per ride, basically concept.
Sure.
And they said, "Hey guys, but why you not on Instagram?" I said, "Look, I don't believe in Instagram. I think it's for girls, you know, like for the makeups and whatever. Like for me, it's still like TikTok nowadays."
Yeah.
So I was kind of hesitant, but I talked to he said, "Look, I'm selling wheels, pedals, whatever, like all this sim racing stuff only from Instagram. I don't have a website." I said, How come? And it was like whatever 3 years ago or so. So before, like we don't have any marketing.
Right.
Like it was word of mouth. It was really literally word of mouth, and like orders were piling up. So he convinced me to do Instagram. We did like a pretty like old school Photoshop pictures with like whatever like slogans.
Sure.
Funny slogans. So we've started posting it there. For sure, it was like whatever dead end or like it's not Instagram content. It's not Instagram like we didn't engage people. You know, we haven't done all this like fancy A to Z 101 Instagram. So we tried to just to like throw something there.
Right.
And then I get a message from the guy. He said, "Hey, like we see from Sim Racing Studio. We in Montreal. We in Canada. Are you interested to talk about some partnership?" Yeah, for sure. Like we're always open. Like we still open. We've been open for any kind of partnership. And apparently we talked to Gilbert from Sim Racing Studio, and he's like almost next door to me. You know, like literally. And like we live like 2 miles away. Like I bike when we meet, you know. So and we didn't know about each other. We were with sim tools. We have our like paying with sim tools. I told him like what I don't like, and I didn't even know that there's alternatives. So
right.
And then like I met him. I met Marcelo. Like we talk about perspectives. We talk about future. And I like their vision because they want to evolve the product compared to Simples.
Yeah.
So they want to evolve the product. They want to make it user friendly. They wanted to make it like plug and play. And they were already like light years ahead of Simples. And we sign up, and that's happy partnership. Yeah.
So for those of you out there watching, essentially DOF makes the rig, just so you understand what we're talking about here. They make the rig with the motors and everything that moves, but you still need software to read the game telemetry in order to tell it where to move. So DOF Reality kind of makes the physical movement part, and then Sim Racing Studio, they're key because their software is what interfaces between the actual game itself and the motion rig. So you can't really have one without the other. So it amazes me that all this coincidence of, the guy in Ukraine and your parents are from Ukraine. Now, the guy's right down the block with Sim Racing Studios. You just got that lucky karma or something where everybody you need is right there. So that's a cool story.
Yeah, that's the life. It's full of surprises. If you open, like you get it, you get the door next to you. But that's really was interesting, and still we get like through a lot of developments, through a lot of projects. And now we are in Magic Box, which I believe we can talk later about Magic Box.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah, we got a whole Q&A section. So I've gotten a few questions that I constantly get on my channel, and then Igor's reached out to some of his customer base and potential customers. So we've got a whole series of questions we're going to cover at the end. But before we get to that, you've got some pretty big announcements, or in the future. You've got a lot of plans for DOF Reality. And that's what I want to hear about, because one of my favorite things about the DOF Reality system and rigs is that they're constantly developing and evolving them. I mean, I don't know. You could probably buy one today and buy one 2 weeks from now, and there'll be some differences because it's a constant iteration of improvement. And I love that you guys don't just have a product and you're like, run it until nobody buys it anymore, and then we'll fix it. You guys are constantly evolving this product, and that's one of my favorite things about what you guys do. So tell us what's coming in the future. I can't wait to hear. I want to hear all about it.
Sure. So that's our philosophy, because when we started it and we look into IP, like intellectual property, patenting, not patent, like all this like business protection side of it, we understand that anybody can buy it, clone it, any day. So the only way we can succeed, the only way we can move forward is constant innovation, constant improvement. And for us, also the second accent was on customer service, because I believe still like most of the vendors, they don't have even phone numbers, they don't even like answer emails or whatever, like their answering time is like days, and they don't have chat or something, like they have bots. So for us, like I specifically put an accent on customer service because it is plug and play. It is really like easy to assemble, like IKEA type of furniture, easy assemble product. But customers are the key, and that's what most of the companies, not just in our industry, is missing. That they miss this customer service. They miss this ability for customers to get to the company, get some answers, get some information on time, and people will get disappointed. For us, we answer even if you have phone number, even if you get there and you leave the voicemail, let's say you call middle of the night, you're from Australia, you call me middle of the night, you left a voicemail, look, nobody calls you back. Like, I don't know, it's a bad habit. It's not, I don't think it's North American or like whatever. It's like nobody calls you back, especially businesses. We call back customers that don't even leave a voicemail.
Wow.
So so I put this as one of the cornerstones of the business, of this venue. And this also leads us to this constant improvement, because we have greatest engineers in the company. I still believe it's production is in Europe, so it's European materials, European labor, and engineers also there. But they have brilliant ideas, but we need feedback from the customers. We need real life feedback. That's what we're getting. We have amazing Facebook communities that Dave started. It's over 10,000 just active members in this community, and we have tons of issues there posted there, and we are not afraid of it. Because the difference is, like, look, all the car manufacturers, whatever big brands, they have recalls. Like, all the big brands have recalls. There's an issue. The difference is how you treat it.
Yeah.
Do you fix it on time, and do you change the product after all? Like, and that's what we mean. So we shorten this feedback loop, and we try to implement it as soon as possible. If there's an issue, it's or some suggestions, good suggestions, because a lot of things will come in, like, from our customers. They say, hey, why you don't use these wheels? Oh, what about this motorcycle dampeners? Yeah, we never thought about, hey, like, it's a good option. So we take it, we test it, we implement it, and the cycles are now like 6 months.
Okay.
So it took that's what we try to release every 6 months. We try to improve the product and be not just ahead of somebody else, but just be in front of the industry, in front of the trends. And for coming release, that's why, like, part of this announcement, we address basically two issues. Most of you probably know about SFU gearboxes. That was like our last announcement, last year's announcement, and big deal, huge improvement.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I love those things.
So. Exactly. So now, like, we were thinking, hey, Mark, and you complained as well. So you complained about this.
I gave positive, constructive feedback.
Yeah, I
did not.
No, but that's fine. Yeah, but that's fine. And people say, hey, what happens when I power it off? It slides down under the weight.
Yeah.
And it was a like kind of backside of SFU gearboxes being so efficient. So they very efficient. That's why you can move them by hand. You can move them under the weight. And we were scratching our heads for 6 months. We were testing, like, you won't believe how many prototypes we did. And so we found a way to stop it. So basically, there was like electronic brake. Yeah.
Really?
So there will be electronic brake.
Okay. Tell me more.
So that's basically electronic brake that applies the force and stops motors from motion when it's not need to be moved. When it's basically when the power is off.
Okay.
It locks the motor shaft, and it prevents it from movements.
Okay. Awesome. See, I'll make him send me a photo. We'll pop it in here. We'll show you what he's talking about. I'll make him get me an image of that.
For sure.
So okay, because that was one of my big complaints, and not so much because of the movement, but I was concerned that when you did hit that emergency stop, it didn't stop. It settled. So that was probably my one really big concern with the SFU when you sent those out. And if you fix that, that's a huge deal. So that's great news. Now, is this something that's going to be only on new units, or is that going to be able to be retrofitted, say, to some guy in Colorado that has an H6 or something like that?
We're still looking, like, new units. We will start with P versions, professional versions. Pro ones, and we're looking still into backwards compatibility and upgrade paths, and we have to actually do another change, which is cardan shaft. So it's a drive shafts to transfer force without need of the motors moving themselves. So basically, we can fix the motor barrel, and we don't need to move it like up and down like now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cardan shafts, and they allowed us actually to use this brakes.
Okay.
And the call is the common pairs. So now, like, both of them will be introducing in P versions coming next weeks.
Oh, and that soon?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Might be something is shipped next week. So we in transition to it.
Okay.
And
Well, okay, you're gonna have to send me a picture of that too. So we'll
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
exclusive here, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll drop those
So
pictures in here.
this will,
So
yeah, so this will allow us to kind of simplify production
okay,
and allowed us to have motors basically bolted to the frame,
okay.
and we'll ship this units basically half assembled. So
Oh,
from this from implementing it, we will have ability to shorten the assembly time. Some people have still challenges with it. We admit this
yeah.
documentation is not perfect, but look, we're working on it. We hear, and we
Okay.
implement all customer requests. So you see, it's a chain reaction. So basically, you are
Yeah.
like customers ask us for the brake, for the stopping of the
Yeah.
motors. It leads us to introducing the stop motors, but on the same time, we introduce the curtain shafts that allow us to fix the motors to the frame, and then it allows us to pre-assemble half of the unit, like bottom part of the unit, pre-assemble in the factory. So for the customers, it will be like half of the time, even less, like maybe like 30% to assemble it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that bottom section, that takes a little work. I mean, obviously we've been through the old gearboxes and the new SFUs, and yeah, if you just have that base pretty much ready to go. So this is all just kind of built on each other. You had the brake and you had to mount the motors to get the brake to work, and then that allows you to build more of it and ship it more assembled. Wow, that's a lot. That's some pretty big news right there. So
yeah, that's a huge change, and also then like because we did it, then we can do like covers, like nice
yeah,
metal covers for the bottom. We call it Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
It
Yeah.
looks nice. Yeah, we're still working on some design and graphics on it, but it's really like huge step forward.
Wow. So and again, this is exactly why I love your company is because we had the issues of not stopping. I know there were people that were concerned with pets or children with all the moving gears being exposed. So you truly are. You're listening to all the top issues that people are coming up with, and you're just continuing to fix it. And it's awesome. See, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, and thanks for announcing that here. That's really cool. So for those of you who don't know, actually, Igor reached out to me early on when they first came out with the SFU gears, and there's a whole series on the channel about how we went through that. But I can tell you, he got a hold of us right away because we were kind of the guinea pigs, willing guinea pigs. So it wasn't anything.
Pilot customers. We call it pilot customers.
Yeah. So we got in there, and I was thrilled because in one of my early videos, I said I wish I had more motion. So he reached out to me pretty early on and said, "Hey, here's an option," and and we went back and forth a lot. He was always there, just like I said, customer service wise. And then again, the Facebook groups, that was a huge help. So DOF Reality has an amazing Facebook group that I've talked about several times on the channel. But that group there, because I'll get people all the time that are asking me, it's like I don't work for DOF Reality, but man, all of a sudden I'm tech support, man. I've got questions coming in the comments. So how do I fix this? How do I fix that? And there are times when I'm out and I don't have a chance to answer. So I always tell people, go to the DOF Reality Facebook group because it's DOF Reality Builders, and those guys, somebody will get back to you so quickly in that. If it's amazing. So not only do you have the great customer support that Igor's got going on, but you also have that Facebook group, which is amazing. And so that's great news. I can't believe all the stuff you got coming up. See, I feel like now you're just trying to sell me into buying another one. See, you got all these really cool changes, and now I'm like, I got to get a new one.
Yeah, that was not the intention, definitely. Like, I don't want guys to freak out because they will get completely new design. Like, it's night and day. They will get completely new design platforms like in weeks as pro customers, and they will love it. And like recently we moved from analog to digital encoders. So,
yes.
So you don't need like the main difference. It's this painful calibration. You don't need like it's self-calibrating. That went under the radar. Like we just roll it out. We didn't like much advertise it, so on and so forth. But it's also huge improvement for the customers because for us it's cost for assembly, cost for production, but for customers to have it like Basically, you don't need to calibrate it whatsoever. It's just like calibrates every time you power it on.
Yeah, that was a big one, and it's funny because we had Daryl Delac, who's my master fabricator, the guy that really turns the bolts and nuts on my platform. We were, before you even came out with that, we were trying to analyze, well, how can we change that? How can we get digital encoders? And he's like, we're going to have to, the shaft's going to have to be longer. We have to change that back plate out. And then all of a sudden, boom, you guys come out with it, and it was like, okay, great minds, I guess, because it was almost exactly what he had envisioned. And I just think it's awesome. You guys see all these things, and you're just, again, you're constantly trying to make the product better. You're constantly addressing any of the sore spots with customers, and again, that's why I'm a fan. That's why I'm a fan of your product. I just love it. So that's cool. And I guess, that kind of gets into, we're kind of getting into some of the question and the Q&A stuff. And one that I hear, and I'm wondering, I'd like to kind of ask you about is, I'm constantly hearing, especially from the flight sim enthusiasts, about because of the motors and the style of motor, there's that stutter that happens when you're doing slow turns.
Like a jitter, a bit
Yeah.
of like stepping jitter.
Yeah, and so can you explain why that happens in your rig, and then if you have any plans or if there's any way to address it, anything like that? Because that's probably the number one comment, either in my live streams when I'm talking to people or in the comments section, especially mostly the flight guys, because in racing I don't think you notice it much. Racing's so, frenetic and moves so much. But in racing, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that? What causes it, and if you guys have any way to, in the future, help that?
Yeah, so getting there, like, let me give you another hint, because there's a lot, basically all the improvements, most of them go under the radar. We kind of don't advertise. So what we did, we moved from Arduino-based controllers to STM32. STM32 is like whatever, like 10 times, 100 folds more powerful. So we moved to new controllers, and they allow us actually these digital encoders, and they allow us different level of precision.
Okay.
What we haven't mastered yet, and that's what we will work with you, maybe with other guys. I saw some guys in the Facebook groups, they're willing to work with us to build, to reproduce the situation, because so far, like, we saw it a bit, but we haven't seen it as much pronounced as it should be, like from the videos we saw. So short answer, we're working on it, and knowing our history, you should be sure we will find a way to do something about it. And why I was talking about like STM32, because this controller is like whatever 100 times powerful, and we still haven't harnessed all the capabilities of it.
Okay.
So I hope what we will look into, I hope that we can get to a level of precision that was not affordable with old controllers, with old like standard AVR Arduino ones.
Yep.
And with this level of precision and with digital encoders in place, with all this cardan shafts and everything. So I hope we can look into it and address it, because it has to be like a software issue. It has to be a software issue. I don't see any reasons for it to be there and to keep it there. But
Okay.
It's work in progress, and we just setting up like a lab system for it, specifically for it, because that's number one issue for you guys and for us as well.
Yeah, for the flight guys, for sure. Now, real quick question. Just want to go back, because I know I'm going to have comments and questions about this. So you're rolling out all these new changes on the P series now, and I'm assuming that's going to be the P6, the P3, all those. Pretty much everybody's going. You're going to change all the units over to this new style. Is that correct, or is this only a P6?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. It's actually, I think 6 is not ready yet, because we're trying to put alignment of the motors. 6 is still in progress. We're still testing it. 2 and 3, like 2s are bestseller. Oh, sorry, 3s are bestsellers. So P3 will go with it, and the rest will follow. But also we don't want to go with like full speed there, because no matter how many months, years you test it in the lab, that's a lab. And real life is real life. That's why most of the customers, they underestimate the history of the company.
Oh,
They think like, hey, like startups, they just started. They have nice videos, promos. They have nice advertisements. The product looks nice and shiny, LEDs all over the place.
Sure.
But the real life, in all these iterations of production and feedback, it has to happen. So that's why we want to roll it out. We will see if everything went nice and smooth. So we will expand it. We will probably have like every product, every model have like some child disease or whatever, you call it.
Yeah.
So we have to fix it.
Teething problems, I think, is what they call it. Teething
exactly.
problems.
Exactly. So then we roll it out more like mass market when it's full proven. Yeah.
Okay. So the question I know I'm going to get is it going to be an option if you buy an H model? Will you have the option to upgrade to these new, the new drive shaft and the new brake and all that? Is that going to even be an option for an H series for now?
For now, not.
Okay.
But it will go like basically it will go with SFU. So as soon as we switch the production, it will be probably in some time we will not have standard non-SFU motors even for H2, H3s.
Okay.
So we get rid of them like in H6 and all the P series now. By default, they go with the SFU. So it will be either like new way, like whatever SFU we call it, and the brake and the new shafts will be there. Or it will be traditional one, but traditional one is also, we still keep it because we want it to be more affordable, because over the time, like we have to raise the price. Look,
right.
Like last week we have to raise the price 15% because raw materials went 60%. All this COVID mess, we barely raise the price. We work for community actually. We work for our customers to keep it affordable. And for us, cost of SFU, cost-wise, SFU is more expensive. So we want to keep, for some time, we want to keep two options for the customers because, like, let's admit it, for racing, it's not that critical.
Right.
You can do like H2, H3 without SFUs for racing. You'll be super happy. And you get like platform like under 2K, which is unbelievable. And we will keep it for some time, and then everything will go new designs. Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense. And I mean, I guess since we touched on it, that was one of the questions. Why? And I think the question is more generic. Why are these so expensive? Why? And just real quick to give you my point. They aren't expensive. If you go out in the market, so if you see that price tag and you've never looked in this industry, you go, oh my goodness, 5,000 or whatever. Go look around to other manufacturers. You're half the price typically. And still, even with the price increase that you've done, because I've had some people ask me about some of your competitors, and I've gone out and kind of looked at what they're doing. You're still half. Everybody's raising their prices, and you're still coming in at basically half of what a lot of the competition is. So, yes, it's expensive, but it's all relative, right? So if you want to talk a little bit about, I know we touched on the price increase a little bit, but talk a little bit about, how hard you've tried not to raise them, because I know you've tried to keep them low. That's been your philosophy forever. And just kind of give the customer an idea of that you're not just grabbing handfuls of money and putting it in your pocket, that why now you have to, because everybody's doing it.
Yeah, so our philosophy was always to be affordable, always to be available for enthusiasts. We began because the platform was not kind of user friendly, consumer friendly, I would call it, in the beginning, and we were selling to do-it-yourself guys. And first units, we didn't even have a manual, so we just sent a bunch of pictures. Hey, look on assembled. You have all the parts, bolts and the nuts. Okay, go figure it out.
Yeah.
And then it becomes more sophisticated, and we also have to kind of have to evolve the production and as assembly process, simplify it, and make all these manuals. And we first we address do-it-yourself market, but then when we list it on Amazon, list it on eBay, make it available for general public, it makes completely different product, because it has to be safe, it has to be foolproof, it has to be like easy to assemble, and that's what is evolution. But still, price wise, we want to keep it. It's look, it's internal battle I have every week. I have our marketing director asking, hey, we need to raise the price. We need to raise the price because we have to be profitable after all. Like after 6 years, we just scratching the margins. We're scratching the margins, and that's another reason that we don't do distribution, because we cannot give, like most of the vendors give 40 at least 40% to distribution, and the distribution is the guys, you ship them container full of your stuff, and they just sit in the shop and retailing your product, and they take 40%.
Yeah,
that's a fair cut. They do a lot, but we were not able, and we still not able to do the distribution for the reason that we want to give this 40% to the customers.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, you could raise the price and have that distribution, and that actually hits one of the questions we had. One of the questions is, are you going to have local dealers, especially in Australia and New Zealand? That was one of the questions we had. So I'm assuming no, you're going to still try to keep the price low. Then, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So it's for Australia, New Zealand, Oceania, like Asian countries, shipping is insane. And like after COVID, like FedEx, DHL, we used. It went crazy, and nowadays, like they don't take any responsibility. Even shipping to US, they don't like do any refunds if they're late. They don't even care about the delays. Yeah. They do start losing the package, because like in 5 years before the COVID, like, we never lost a package. Now like we have a couple of them lost. It's okay, couple of out of thousands, shipped months. It's not a big deal, but still, the quality of service went down, and the prices went up, and especially it hits Oceania, like New Zealand and Australia. And for New Zealand and Australia, we have few discussions, and I think it's a combination. It's not just a cost, it's not just the margins, but I haven't seen a serious person there. Like maybe we have somebody here on the like watching our video, so approach us, because we want serious people who can drive the brand, who can drive the industry, who can serve local community, because that's the goal. The goal is not to sell something, it's not to like get profits. Right. The goal is to work and be with racing enthusiasts, flight enthusiasts community around the world, and serve them with product, with services, with advice. And that's what the value. The value is not in the product. The value is in emotions that people get from the product.
Yeah.
So getting back, like we still looking. We can have some discussions. We can see what we can do. But honestly, I think most of the distributors get spoiled, and that's the reason why we started this way, because they used to sign exclusive agreement. Hey, like I want to sell to Germany, so give me exclusive agreement for Germany. I will sit there in my shop, or like 10 shops around Germany, 100 shops around Germany, and I will not promote your product. I will not put a penny into promotion of your product. You have to promote the product. You give me your product. You give me 40%. I will just sell it to it in local stores, and they don't used to work with the community. As I mentioned, they didn't used to engage as much as I want them to engage, because you put a higher standard. Look, call Best Buy, like will they call you back? Like how long it will take you on hold? Will they answer? Will they address your question or something like this? So I want like high quality of customer service, and I want them to show value to the community, not just like making profits, but unfortunately a lot of entrepreneurs, they just there to make profits. That's not about us. That's not about our brand.
Right. It's funny you talk like this, and it's very similar to what Sim Racing Studio. They're constantly trying to make it easier on customer. I see why you guys are aligned. You have very similar philosophies, and it totally makes sense. So, so the shipping, again, we touched on it's so expensive, and you're right. I mean, I get stuff all the time that's all beat up, and it's like they just don't even care. So I can't even imagine shipping stuff as big and as heavy as what you guys are doing. So that's the reason for the expensive shipping then, because somebody was asking about why is shipping so expensive for these things. So it's go ahead.
So there is a cost. Look, we can do like free shipping, but there's no free lunch. So we can hide the cost of shipping into product cost, like a lot of other vendors in our industry, in all other industries doing. But I don't want to go Amazon. Like I can offload containers there, but what will happen with my boxes? Guys, you don't want to see what I saw there on Amazon warehouses. And I talked to so many business entrepreneurs that lost fortunes there. And at the end of the story, customer will have to pay for it. Customer will have to pay for dealership fee, distribution fees. Customer will have to pay for shipping one way or another. And unfortunately, it won't be lower, and the end product price will still be there.
Right. So you're still kind of doing your traditional philosophy of you try to keep the margins as low as you can for the end customer. You're not doing things like, free shipping and then you bump the price of the unit. You're still trying to keep it as affordable as possible for the end user, and any price increases that you're seeing are due to, like you said, shipping increases or material increases and all that stuff. And I was pretty sure that's what was going on, so that doesn't surprise me at all. But
Exactly.
it's good that you're at least trying to, keep it affordable relative, and it still is. Again, go out and look in the market. Anybody that has looked in this industry, you easily, if you wanted to, could spend $40,000-$50,000 on one of these. So again, thank you for doing everything you can to keep it affordable, and not only do that, constantly innovating. I mean, that's one of the things as well. That's pretty cool. So. I don't really see the price going down anytime soon. I mean, everybody asks me, well, are they going to, is anything get cheaper? It's like, just look around the world. Everything is going up, and I don't foresee anything getting cheaper. So I don't know that I'd sit back and wait for prices to go down if you're interested in these.
Yeah, I think, and also, look, we changed the product. It's not the same product. Like P3 you bought a year ago, and P3 you will get like in 2 weeks. It's a different product. It's a different level of the product. So it's not just the same, like unfortunately, like a lot of vendors in our niche and everything else, they just reproduce the same product years and years. They add LED or add some whatever stickers here and there.
Painted a different color.
Exactly. And our products, it's not just that we optimize production. We actually we actually increase production costs into the sacrificing it into the favor of customer, easy to assemble, easy to operate, less maintenance, all these reasons. And it's unavoidable to have the costs and to do it sooner or later. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, since we're talking about shipping. So give us an idea, somebody that's out there that might be interested in something like this. What kind of shipping time frame are we looking at? Let's say they order it, today or whatever. How is your shipping? Obviously, there's certain constraints in that part of the world. So tell us a little bit about what they can expect if they were to order one today, for example.
So how it works nowadays, to optimize it, we ship in batches. So every 2 weeks, the batch goes out, and then it depends where you are. It takes a week or two to get it to your door. So let's say, for example, this Friday there will be another batch, and in 2 weeks max, customers will get it to their door. What our support team is saying usually on this question, it's 3 to 4 weeks, about 4 weeks from order to the door. And look, if you get lucky, if you order it tonight, most of the chances, it depends on the model, so on and so forth, you might get it in 2 weeks, a week and a half to your door. But it's 4 weeks max. That's what we experience.
Okay, so that's like a worst case would be 4, and it might be sooner depending on where it lands.
Exactly. Yeah.
That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. See, again, they're doing everything they can to cut costs. So you do them in batches, and it helps saves a little bit. And again, they pass that along to the consumer. So that's a good thing to hear. Let's talk a little bit about just the motion platforms in general. And I had some general questions that came up.
Yeah.
And so people were asking me about, and I can kind of answer some of this too, but people were asking me about, okay, tell me about the simulator. Can it simulate any car, any plane? Tell me what this thing can do.
We can do, we just move the platform. That's what we do. And surprisingly enough, we have a lot of universities like MIT, Harvard, like numerous like US, European, Asian universities. They bought our platform for scientific research.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, some commercial companies, they put like marine equipment on it. They want it to be shaken. They want it to be like tested on some different environments in motion. So we have API, and it's, again, thankful for it. Sim Racing Studios have open API, so everybody can control it. The most frequent use cases are like flight, racing simulation, roller coaster, space flights, like kind of consumer type of simulation.
Yeah.
And we move the platform according to the commands. And as Mark was mentioning, Sim Racing Studio is like middleware between the game and us. And being this amazing software with a lot of tuning, like tuning is like, it's completely another universe and another like aspect of Sim Racing Studio, and it deserves another guide. It deserves like numerous discussions with Jeff. By the way, should we invite Jeff next time or something?
Yeah, if people like this, yeah, we can keep doing it. We could get Jeff. I could reach out to Jeff, and and that's exactly right. And for anyone, like you said, the whole tuning aspect. One of the biggest mistakes I see with people that get a motion platform, a DOF Reality or whatever, is they get it, they set it up, plug it in, and go without ever touching the tuning. And the tuning aspect of these, you can have a really bad experience if you just kind of throw it in there and the settings aren't right. And what's so cool about Sim Racing Studio is you can really dial this into exactly how you want it to move. And Jeff and I actually did an interview similar to this. It actually ended up being a two-parter. But if anybody's interested in that, we go way deep. I mean, it's like 2 1-hour episodes, and it's kind of the It's not the most entertaining as far as we're not making balloons like balloon animals or anything. But he gives us so much information. So the SRS software is amazing. And so yeah, any game or any simulator, to answer the question, that exports telemetry can basically be simulated on the DOF Reality. And even if not, there is a trick on the Sim Racing Studios. Even if you have something that doesn't export any telemetry, you can use a joystick emulator that will move the platform based on where that joystick is. And I have to use that like in Star Wars Squadrons because it doesn't have any telemetry. So pretty much you can make this platform work for just about anything, even if it doesn't necessarily have telemetry. The telemetry is better because you get the little effects like bumps and stuff. But even if the game doesn't have it, it will work. So I guess the simple answer is yes, you can pretty much simulate anything.
Yeah, and another kudos to Sim Racing Studio because they hired like professional pilots for racing and for flight sims. So they tune the profiles. There's a tons of ready-made profiles there, and they tune the profiles. The pilots, professional pilots, racing pilots and flight pilots, they tune the profiles according to their experience with real planes and with real cars. And also, these profiles are inbuilt, and then there's a huge community on Discord, on Facebook to share these profiles, to share experience and fine-tune it for the personal preferences as well. So every car, any plane, any vehicle, anything like roller coaster, whatever, like boat simulation, we'll probably get sooner there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the roller coaster stuff. That can be really I actually used the roller coaster stuff when we first did the SFU to really put it through its paces. And boy, let me tell you, the first time I took a ride, I could tell those SFU drives were definitely an improvement. Is there anything specific about the SFU drives that you wanted to talk about or cover? They're really a good deal.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of materials already on the market. The big difference why we're rolling it out, and again, it was customers' feedback because of lash of the gearboxes. Every gearbox have a play and lash, and it was not avoidable. So we were like, it took us a bit longer to master it and figure out the solution, but solution is basically SFU, which is actually most of the actuators have it inbuilt there. So most of the actuators have the same SFU shaft inside. They just have like a stepper or different type of motors there, but they're less powerful. They have their pros and cons. Like we can do another discussion about actuators versus motors or something else. Yeah, but SFU is a huge compromise. I wouldn't say even compromise. It's like actuators type of performance at half of the cost.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've had people say, "Oh, do I really need the SFUs on the H3 or the H2?" I'm like, that's the one you absolutely need it for, because you always had that that little wiggle in there with the old gears, and the extra motion out of the H6 is great. But yeah, I'm like, if you get an H3 or an H2, get the SFU at least on the main drives that move the seat. If you have the traction loss, you can go with the old gearbox. Although I do caution people, I've said this 100 times, if you plan on doing the upgrade, that's the other cool thing we haven't even talked about. One of the cool things about the DOF Reality is you can upgrade it. You can start with an H2 or an H3, which are less degrees of motion. You can actually buy an upgrade kit and improve it. So I always say, if you're planning on upgrading, you might think about getting that SFU gearbox on all three motors on an H3, just because then you won't have to go through all the trouble of disassembling and assembling like what we had to do, which you can see, I'll throw the video up, but we did one of those early on how to do that, because we got started in this so early. There wasn't, you were talking about documentation. I remember you and I were emailing a lot, because it was like there wasn't much documentation. So it's improved since, for sure. But yeah, that's good stuff. So let's talk about. There's two more topics I want to cover really quick. We've had some customers talk about how they'd really like to order more of just a ready to go simulator, like with the seat and everything. And I think we talked a little bit about this. That's kind of where you're moving with the new motors being bolted. You're trying to get to that kind of request, right?
Yeah, so there's a certain amount of customers, there's certain amount of market requests of having turnkey solutions, and for us, before it was really undoable. It was really tricky, and we want to focus on our main product, main competence, which is motion simulators, but we do understand that we go more mass markets, we go wider niches, and we want to help people also to get rid of uncertainty, risks, to get some compatibility issues. And what we figure out, the main pain is seat. So however, our seat mounts are standard, so 95% of the seat fits, but still person have to choose a seat, make sure he gets sliders, he get brackets, so on and so forth. Yeah. So I think in few weeks we will launch seat as an option. So basically you can buy seat with your motion simulator platform.
Okay.
And we partner with Sparkle. So it will be Sparkle, original Sparkle, no Chinese knockoffs.
Okay.
Real Sparkle from Italy, brought from Italy in seats, and it would be a really nice bundle. It will remove a lot of uncertainty and a lot of pullbacks from the customers for the wheels and pedals, and all the flight controllers. It gets exponentially complicated, because the combinations can be infinite.
Sure.
And we want to work with Fanatec. We want to work with Logitech, Trustmaster, but for them it's a different market, it's a different niche. For example, for Sony or for other console games, and there's a lot of discussions. We can touch it a bit about consoles. For consoles games, they don't see a need of motion telemetry, because they don't see the potential of the motion market as a whole. And I think it's a big mistake.
Yeah.
For them, numbers wise, maybe it is not, but cost wise, they have it already in the software. Every gaming agent have it, so it's just a matter of enabling it. And it's really pity, because we tried, we have Japanese partners, we try to talk to Sony, we try to talk to other companies. We get a good progress with Gran Turismo, but but it was so painful and bloody process,
Well, that's a perfect segue into my big last question, because I wanted to talk about your console. You're moving over. So traditionally, not only were motion platforms not affordable, but they were pretty much PC exclusive. You had to have the power of the PC to really run it. And you guys have come up with a way that if somebody is a console fanatic, they have consoles, love all the console games, they can now add motion to it, from what I understand. So I would definitely want to end on that, because to me that is a huge thing for a lot of people out there that might not be into spending $2,000-3,000 on a computer, but they sure have the latest PlayStation or whatever. So I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us all about that, because I just think this is an amazing opportunity, and it's an amazing new market that I think a lot of people don't have any idea it's even available. So tell us about this new console option.
Yeah, so we saw it on our radar like years ago, but when the COVID and graphics card shortage hit the market, we saw our customers suffering, because they want to have simulations. They want to have racing simulation, flight simulation, but you have money, but you cannot buy a graphics card. Like there was times remember like 6 months,
Yeah.
and you have to pay like double, triple to the scalpers.
Yes.
So basically, you pay more for graphic cards than like our motion simulator, and it's not like top-notch graphics card. Like it was ridiculous. And at this point, like we have a lot of requests from console guys, and we will look into in the ways to solve it, because the games are good. I still believe like physics-wise, graphics-wise, PC with proper VR is a better immersion, better emotions, but if people already invested in the consoles, or they want to have a simplicity of the consoles, they should have it. So far, before our like Magic Box projects, that's what we call Magic Box. So we before Magic Box, you can still use it. You have to use PC or laptop as a proxy. So the game runs on the PC. The data transfers over the network to the PC and over to Simulation Studio on your PC, and then it goes over USB to our platform, which is like kind of semi-solution, not user-friendly, not easy to set up. And then we worked with Simulation Studio again to make Simulation Studio in the box. So it is Raspberry Pi based. Simulation Studio runs there. And it takes information from the games. Unfortunately, like there are like 5-6 games only on consoles that have motion. It gets motion information, and you plug our platform directly to this Magic Box, which is size of like you probably saw Raspberry Pi. If not, it's like a cigarette pack, like 3 by 2 inches or 4 by 3 inches Magic Box. And it gets motion from console. You play console games, but as usual, we cannot stop there. And it was already like kind of envisioned, designed, and start production was like not production development was started like a year ago. So we went one step further. So we want to have motions in any games. And remember, like you asked about my history, like I started with Need for Speed. Like,
I remember that game.
My racing simulation, like childhood, started from Need for Speed. I still love it. My kids love it.
Yeah.
So we started from Need for Speed, and like even like modern, like whatever, like Need for Speed sequels releases, they don't have motion. And on the consoles, we decided to go extra step, and we created Magic Wheel and Magic Pedals. So there are 2 boxes, small boxes, and you basically put a Magic Wheel on your wheel, and it takes motions from the wheel and make motions of the plug based on your wheel. So same as joystick plugin.
Yeah.
But it's hardware done.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. I totally get it. So where we use the joystick emulator. When there's no telemetry, now you've got this for, and does it fit on like any Logitech? Is it built for any of those wheels that are out there?
Yeah, you just like Velcro or whatever, you strap it on the wheel. There's a calibration, and there's a battery there, so it's wireless, and you move your wheel, the platform will move accordingly. Look, it's not perfect simulation, but for Need for Speed and like Mario Karts, people were blown away. Like we did some
Yeah.
trials. You enjoy your like childhood games in whole different level. It's pure
Yeah.
emotion.
No, that's a
And
great idea. I mean, that's fantastic because yeah, like I said, I've used that motion, the joystick telemetry. So now you're saying, so this would allow you to do that on old racing without even a PC. This is through the Magic Box. All of this is you'd have your console, your Magic Box, and it
you
that
can
does it
play
all.
Nintendo, you can play whatever you want to play, like anything there. And there's also like Magic Pedal Box, which takes information from the pedals. So we just take throttle and brake information to make the motions for this access. Yeah.
Yeah, and for any of you guys out there that haven't ever experienced motion, again, it adds such an amazing element. I mean, again, just watch any of my videos and you'll see I'm a super fan on it, and it takes you out of sitting at your desk and now all of a sudden you feel like you're in that race car or that plane or whatever it is. I mean, it's really hard to describe it because I've had people that even watch my videos and they see the movement and they're like, oh, it doesn't even look like it's moving that much. It's like, yeah, but when you're in it, it feels like it does. I mean, until you get those extreme motions, people are like, oh, it doesn't do much. But man, let me tell you, just anything to pull you off of the floor and make you feel like you're in a vehicle that's not attached to anything, that alone is immersive beyond belief. And then when you get the extra good motion and all that stuff, and like you said, the force feedback and all that kind of stuff, it takes it to a whole nother level. So that's pretty cool. So man, I gotta say, I gotta thank you for spending time with me today. I think you're the first CEO I've actually ever had on the channel. So you're the first. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to talk about or cover? Again, if you guys like this kind of stuff, I'm sure we can probably do some more of these because we haven't even touched on a number of topics I'd love to talk about. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about before we sign off, the floor is yours.
Oh, I think we covered like a lot, and I don't want it to be like long video for our viewers. What I would like to see your questions, your comments, your questions in like we'll post it probably on our channel. Mark will post it on his channel. We want to see your comments. We want to see your questions so we can make next videos more like oriented towards your demands, discuss industry in general, like maybe talk to Jeff about tuning, talk to
Yeah.
maybe other YouTubers. And I don't want to be like brand specific. I don't want to be a product specific. I want to have it like our community channel, our community discussions, some useful information, some useful insights, some news,
Hmm.
and like overall discussions because
Yeah.
it is growing. It's growing exponential.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I think that's a great idea. So leave your questions and comments down below, and then when we do another one of these, we'll just kind of get into that. And this one's probably a little longer because we did all the introductions and stuff. But yeah, maybe we can get into where we're doing little segments. Who knows? Maybe at some point we could even do live stream, and then it could be real time. If we get enough interest in it, we could do real time live streams, and we can answer questions, on the fly. So we'll see. Who knows where this can go? But
Sure,
again,
sure.
I appreciate you taking the time. And again, I'm a fan. But if you have never tried motion simulation, motion platforms, again, go to DOF Reality. You can see it over there, dofreality.com, to get information. You can watch my channel for background and what it took for us to go on this journey. It's been over a year. I mean, we've been on this journey for, I don't know, a year and a half or so now. And there's far more people that have more experience than even that. So it's a great thing. And we appreciate you guys watching to this point.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mark. It was a really interesting session. So I hope we'll have more and we have more interactions. And thank you, guys, for watching and commenting.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that's about it. So I guess we'll wrap it up here. Leave your comments and questions. And until next time, remember to, as always, get your game on. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it, everybody.